Welcome back to another edition of Concordia On-Air. I'm Malik.
And I'm Ephraim. On tonight's show, we've got...
Today was cost at Concordia.
Also in news, Cornstalk is coming up this weekend. And on A&E, we got us.
And we're talking about stuff.
Plus an interview with another Concordia On-Air senior. All on tonight's show of Concordia On-Air.
Woo! Another show.
Malik, this is the first time I've ever hosted. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
I've never hosted before. You know, I've watched Sam and Desi in envy as they've talked about whatever they've wanted, talking about gravy and disenfranchisement, all that jazz. I've wanted to be in this spot for ages. I've been hungry for it.
Hungry,
And now
wow.
I get to do it with you.
Me.
An amazing person.
Stop
Malik,
it.
how you been?
I'm good. It's been a while since I've been on your screen. I've been gone for a little hiatus.
Yeah, but you're a Concordia On-Air legend.
I am a Concordia On-Air legend.
Wow.
I didn't know. I'm a,
Would
what?
you go? Yeah, I would.
Oh.
I would say so. You
Oh.
know, you
Thank you.
do a lot for Concordia On-Air. You're right here, right now, and
Here.
sometimes it's all you need.
Yes, on
Right?
my birthday eve, because tomorrow is my birthday.
Yes, dude.
I'm
big.
so
yeah,
excited.
you just got to whoop in the studio.
Yeah.
Do you have any big birthday plans?
So I'm actually going to dinner right after this.
Right
and going
after
to
this.
Buffalo Wild Wings, which I'm really excited for. And then tomorrow we're going to free college bowling.
Free college bowling?
Yeah,
that's
and
a
ice
thing.
cream. Yes, it is.
You should tell the folks at home the address of the
Yes.
Buffalo Wild Wings
So-
you're going to.
Oh,
I don't know if that's probably doxing. I don't know.
maybe not that one, but I can tell you that it's at the Bowler where you get free college.
Bowler.
Free college bowling every Thursday. So
I
that's
think
really cool.
you know, Malik. You haven't been around during my tenure that
I
much.
have not.
that much. But it feels like every time I come on screen, I have to do something wacky or something wacky happens.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you remember? We're going back for the Concordia On-Air Legends. Do you remember? Were you there for the premiere of my art piece, Ephraim's Head on a Cow's Body?
I saw, and it was questionable.
It was questionable. Did you think it was nice and artistic?
It was great. It was.
Okay.
I just wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people haven't, but that's okay. I think, Greg's got a picture at home for the people. I'll take that real quick. If you haven't seen it, this is Ephraim's head on a cow's body. I think we've shown this on every episode now that since I've drawn it. Thank you, Greg. So that's Ephraim's head on a cow's body, my first art piece ever.
Wow,
I know.
That's why did you start to do that?
Why did I start to do that? Well, it's a funny story. I just took the whiteboard one day during a show and I just started going. And I thought, well, I want to draw myself. But I don't just want to draw myself. So then I drew a cow body. And it didn't start as a cow body, it started as a bird body, fun fact. But then it just kind of melded into a cow. So that's just what happened, you know?
You know, I feel like the next thing you should draw is your head on a salamander's body.
Oh man, that would be braggadocious.
Oh,
I know, right?
braggadocious.
I mean, the bragging rights I would have for doing that would be immense.
That would be incredible.
I think, you know, I've always wanted to host because I wanted an opportunity to show off my sharp rapier-like wit, and I feel like this is the perfect opportunity for that. You know?
Yeah. Well, you know what we should talk about?
What should we talk about, Malik?
Cornstalk. I am so excited. It's our
Well,
first
they're going
one.
to talk about that on the
Yeah,
news.
but
Are you excited for some B. Miller?
I'm so excited. So I don't understand how no one knows B. Miller. Like,
I've literally, I was on the phone with a friend of mine and I told her that B. Miller was coming to our campus and she was freaking out. And I've never even heard of B. Miller.
what?
I know.
You've never heard of fire and gold in your eye?
Okay. No.
Oh.
Was she popular on like Musical.ly back in the day?
I think so, but I don't remember.
Okay, well, I'll have the perfect opportunity to watch B. Miller play at Cornstalk.
Yes.
This coming Friday.
Saturday.
I knew that. I totally knew that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Raining in Paradise is also performing.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
shout out Raining in Paradise's record, Hello Oblivion.
So good.
Best, it's going to be, it right now it is the classic, the defining classic of the Concordia college scene, I would say. We've cultivated a mini scene in our area, you know? And I think Raining in Paradise have released their classic.
Talk about classic. Let's get to the news.
Dog Dr. Kelly Lofram-Boys has been selected as the new Director for Inclusion, overseeing the IDEO office, which means Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, and Opportunity. Dr. Lofram-Boys brings a wealth of experience, passion, and wisdom to this role, having served with distinction at Valley City State University, said Michael J. Chan, the Vice President for Mission and Inclusion. In an email sent to the students, she was described to have the strengths as an effective leader and trainer, as well as an insightful leader in higher education. Her role as Director for Inclusion is said to include promoting inclusion and creating equitable opportunities for students and faculty. This change is set to be effective on June 1st, 2024.
A timeline of Cornstalk and an outline of the event's policies was sent out to students via email yesterday. Cornstalk will be taking place on Saturday, April 20th, and the doors will open at 7 p.m. that evening. Opening bands are set to include both Raining in Paradise and Walking Phoenix, with headliner B. Miller officially starting at 9:40 p.m. Students are required to bring a valid student ID, as it will be the way in which you are allowed inside the event. A good note to add is that event staff will not be accepting student ID numbers, and the full card is required to be brought. A list of further policies can be accessed in the email that was sent out to students yesterday.
Today was the official day of the celebration of Student Scholarship, otherwise known as COS, starting at 8 a.m. Students were invited to the Centrum to check in, allowing them to get free items like notebooks and stickers, as well as supplying guests with coffee and more. Lining the Centrum and Knutson Atrium were poster boards, and students were able to talk with the presenters and get information about various topics. There were also concurrent sessions that took place throughout the day, including panels and discussions. One way that students were able to engage with the event was by filling out an event passport. As they went to various sessions, they could get a session stamp for a chance to get a prize. Overall, the event was very busy, and many students showed up to either present what they had researched or support their fellow friends and class peers.
As a reminder for the end of the year that's coming up shortly, books that were supplied to students through the Achieve program are to be returned soon. Students who opted into the Achieve program are to return their books to the Cobber Bookstore by 5 p.m. on Friday, May 3rd, 2024. This includes both rental textbooks and any course materials that were supplied through the program. A student ID or photo ID is required to return your books. Students don't have to wait until the 3rd of May to return their books and can return them any time before then. Store hours are Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information, students can head to concordiacollege.ecampus.com.
And now for an exciting interview with our lovely worker, Maya.
Hi, everyone. It's Ephraim.
And it's Maya also.
And I'm
We're
joined.
sitting in chairs.
Yes,
today.
isn't that amazing?
We've never had chairs at this.
This is a first.
No.
But it's good to see all of you again. I am joined by the wonderful Maya Lisney. Maya has been our amazing executive producer for this year, and she is a senior. So she will be graduating this year and unfortunately leaving us. But Maya, I wanted to talk to you a little bit to talk about, your experience, how it's felt being, an executive producer here, your life, just a general reflection on your time here at Concordia and you as an amazing person.
Absolutely.
So it's so great to have you. I want to start off, we were talking a little bit before the show about, what we wanted to talk about. And I was getting some ideas. And you talked a lot about your ADHD diagnosis within the past year. Do you want to talk a little bit about how that's affected your performance or the way you've lived your life up until this point, and how you can find improvement or awesomeness in the future?
Absolutely. So I have been in the American school system since, kindergarten. It's been a while, and I never really quite got how it worked or got how to do it. I never really, never really felt like it was somewhere where I belonged. I always felt I was like, oh, I love learning and I love this, but for some reason I just can never figure out how to do it right. I thought there was something wrong with me. And so for most of my life, I went about my days thinking like that. And it wasn't until I realized that actually there's a little something that you got called ADHD, which is a condition that many people have, many Americans, many Gen Zers. It's something that is very common, and it was something that really changed my life once I figured out that that was, something that was going on. It made me realize, I'm not just an idiot. It's just, there's sometimes ways that your brain doesn't work necessarily best with the way things are supposed to be. And so I guess finding that out and figuring that out has been a huge confidence boost for me. Validating that I am, a good student and that I've been able to do good work has been, that was something that I really needed to hear. So yeah, it was definitely something that it came late in the game. It wasn't until last summer, so the summer after my first senior year, I'm a super senior right now, that I ended up looking into that. But it was certainly something that most of my life up until this point has been, had a lot to do with that. And so, yeah.
Thank you for such a candid response,
Absolutely.
Maya.
It's something that we got to talk about because that's why it took me so long.
What advice would you give to maybe an incoming freshman about how they can best service their mental health during their freshman year and beyond here at Concordia?
Know that there are resources at Concordia and beyond Concordia. If it's something that you've never thought about or never looked into, it can be really daunting, especially if you don't necessarily have family history with people who maybe you've never had a family member who has gone to a psychiatrist or never had a family member who has dealt with mental health struggles like this, and so you don't really necessarily know what to do. But there are resources available. The Concordia Counseling Center has been super, super great throughout my time here, just being able to validate and let me know where I need to go. There's also just a lot of really great organizations in Minnesota that have very much a passion for mental health. Knowing that so much of this has to do with learning and learning disabilities. Being at a school can sometimes be, I didn't really realize it was something that was a part of me until, my senior year of high school was when I started realizing, maybe this is not just the circumstances. And it wasn't until I was able to find other people who had, experts who had experience in this sort of field and knew what it looked like, especially in one thing that is very common in the sort of diagnosis world is people who are assigned female at birth aren't necessarily diagnosed at the same rate as people assigned male at birth. Often the symptoms for people assigned male at birth are a little more outward and easier to spot, whereas the other ones are more internalized. So I think that was a lot of it as well. So having the conversation about what does it even look like? Where does this what can this, how can this vary between person to person? But yes, and of course, in true ADHD fashion, I've completely forgotten the original question and have gone off on my own train of thought. So
I appreciate your response regardless. Thank you for, again, your candid response and conversation. I want to switch gears a little bit and talk to you about your music journey. You've talked at length about what music has looked like during your time here at Concordia, but I want to go back a little bit and ask, what did your music journey look like before coming to Concordia? How was that a part of your life?
So I have been somebody who I guess I would consider myself a musical person. I suppose I've been kind of in that world and doing that sort of work since pretty much I could talk. As soon as I could talk, I was singing in church choirs, and I mostly singing and mostly choir has been what majority of my musical journey has been. I was in choirs all throughout elementary and middle school and high school. Once I got to high school, I picked up some other instruments, started playing guitar, started playing trombone. I played trombone for 5 years, which is something that I haven't played for a while, but I would love to try it again. But choir was really what won my heart and what really made me realize that, oh no, I want a life of music. So I ended up going to Concordia originally to be a vocal music ed major, as many people do. The music program and the choir was the main thing that pulled me to go to Concordia. And I had all these expectations in my head on what it was going to be and how it was going to treat me, and about the sort of options you have for being, I guess, like a professional in the music world, and I realized after doing that for a little while that wasn't for me. It wasn't what I wanted to do. I loved choir and I loved music, but I didn't necessarily want to be a choir teacher the way I thought, and also wasn't really super into the classical method and I don't know. I wasn't into the technical side of music as
the
much.
standard Western art music.
Yeah, which is
canon.
a big part of what the music program here is, which is really great. And I mean, the musicians that come out of Concordia are fantastic, but that was something that kind of pulled me away from the passion. So I ended up switching out of music ed. I was elementary ed for about a semester, and then I realized also not that. So then I switched to comm, and it was kind of it was one of those situations where I wasn't necessarily planning on ever being comm. I had just actually gotten an internship with the marketing department at Concordia, doing social media work with them, and that was kind of what made me realize, communication is definitely what I need to do and where I need to be, and also being able to look at things through a communication lens like music, or like particularly what I've been doing a lot of work on now is like local music and live music and what the digital music sphere means for the artists and the consumers. And I've been able to do all that work that is really me learning about my passions and really tuned into doing that stuff through the communication department, which was something that I never really thought of originally. I mean, I didn't think that was, you go to comm to do comm, you go to music to do music, but I found a different avenue. Oh, and I've been playing with my band Ghouls, which is really fun. So.
Right. Shout out Ghouls.
Shout out Ghouls.
We love them here in the studio.
Yeah.
So to my understanding, you grew up in Stillwater, Minnesota.
That I did.
And what was the music community like there? Was it a particularly strong place to be a musician?
Yeah. Stillwater has a really strong music scene, I guess. In terms of choir in particular, there's a very strong choral community in Stillwater, and this is because actually there's a Concordia connection there, because Paul J. Chris Johnson, who is the former director of the Concordia Choir, his son Eric Chris Johnson was the director of the Stillwater Choir for many, many years, and it was actually the year before I went to high school that he ended up leaving. So there's a huge sort of like choir tradition that is really, really strong in Stillwater, and it's a very similar choir tradition to here at Concordia, which I think is one of the reasons that I was so drawn to here. But yeah, no, choir, there's a lot of choir, especially in the high schools. But I mean, also you're in the Twin Cities, which is, the Twin Cities music scene is its own thing. Like, beyond choir, thinking about like, DIY music. There's a lot of opportunity for that as well, and lots of stuff. So
wow,
great place to grow up.
Yeah, I imagine that is a joy.
Mm-hmm.
So recently I had seen you perform at the Vocal Jazz concert. Mm-hmm. Stellar performance,
Thank you.
Amazing concert. And I'm curious, I'm sure you're familiar with jazz and kind of the improvisatory nature that goes into creating it and the communication required between musicians to make jazz. How do you think you've taken like jazz ideals and improvisatory nature in the way that you've lived your life?
Oh, that's such a good question. One of the main things I learned in jazz that I kind of had to unlearn from the sort of choral tradition that I'd grown up in is putting your own spin on things, doing things your own way. I kind of had the impression that in order to be a good musician, you have to perform the piece like it was written, and you have to perform the piece like it's been being performed throughout history, the past like several hundred years or whatever. But once I started learning more about jazz and realizing that the way that you can put your art into music is by putting your own spin on it and by changing the way it is and by taking these songs that have been done a million times before and finding your own meaning in it and kind of putting your own spin on it. And I think that is, for music, yes, has been a huge aspect that I've taken from. That's one of the biggest things that I've learned from being here at Concordia and doing music at Concordia is how to put your own spin on things.
Right.
But also I think that does definitely translate to life. I am not trying to copy anybody. I'm truly just trying to do everything I do. I want to do it for the way it's been done. I don't want to do it the way it's been done before, especially if it has not been successful before, because why would you try things the same way if it's not going to work? So that's a really good, you kind of killed it with that metaphor there, with the jazz and jazz and life, because I'd never even thought about that, but immediately I was like, yes, exactly. No, but you got to improv. You got to do a lot of improv in life. You really do.
Well, Maya, thank you so much for your time here today.
Thank you.
I think everyone here in the studio appreciates what you've given to us here at Concordia On-Air and the
Thank you all.
opportunities that you allow us to have. Thank you for our wonderful interview today, and now we pass it on to A&E.
Let's go.
We're here.
Whoa. Hey, guys.
What's up?
I didn't see you there. We're chilling. A&E set. Haven't been here in a while.
Yeah.
Forgot what it looked like. Forgot how to get here. I got lost on the way.
Did you? From your trailer?
Yeah, I was sleeping, actually. I thought I was going to get the day off.
Costs.
But nope. Get a rude awakening, banging on my door, and it's like, I gotta come into work today. And I'm like,
This guy.
you know what they say, another day, another dollar.
This
But
guy.
we're here.
We are here.
We're talking about
Things.
arts and entertainment, because
Yeah.
that's what we do here
That's what we do.
at
Arts
Concordia
and,
On-Air.
Arts and
We
entertainment.
entertain and we arts. Anywho, so do we have an agenda? What are we, or are we just,
First, we're
I'm
talking
not an
about
agenda guy, I kind of just,
we're talking about
off
what's
the-
happening
off the cuff.
on campus. There's so many things happening on campus right now.
It is the end of the year, that's what
Yeah.
happens.
The
Busy.
theater department is doing lots of things, and
They
so
always are.
is
They always are. Shout out
music.
theater department and music and things and stuff.
Got the Laramie project.
Yeah,
happening.
that's April 25th, I think.
Yep.
I think I read that poster correctly.
And Matthew Shepard.
Yep.
That's happening. And Muller's happening.
So many things.
Lots of things happening.
Art, senior art.
Yeah, senior art exhibits.
That's above the theater right now, if you want to go check that
An
out.
art gallery.
It's a bunch of senior featured art pieces.
Yeah,
It's
cool things. A lot of really cool things.
That's actually where I got lost on the way here. I was wandering through the art
Yeah,
exhibit.
it's hard.
So-
It's really hard. It's hard to just look and keep going. You gotta like stop and take it in.
Enjoy.
It's beautiful. It's really
Yeah.
beautiful up
So
there.
go
They
check
did a
that
really
out.
good job. Really good job, seniors.
Do it.
Slay.
Not just seniors, everyone. Doing great.
Yeah, slay. What else is happening? Worldwide, Coachella just happened.
Well, it's still happening, but yeah.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know anything about Coachella, except for it's a huge music fest, question mark?
Yep.
Exclamation point.
They got big stages, lots of big
Yeah.
name artists.
I heard there was a lot of guests. Lana Del Rey
Well, that's
brought
the
out
point of the
Billie Eilish.
show is that there's people there.
Yeah,
There's
cool
artists.
things. Cool things.
It's not like it's just one whatever. Anyway,
Just sassy up here. Yeah, Lana Del Rey with Billie Eilish. Crazy. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were there.
I'm sure they were.
In case you guys missed the information on Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, they were there. What else? Do you know anything else that happened at Coachella?
There was probably some music, probably some
I heard some technical difficulties.
that'll happen.
that
Happens to the
happens
best of us.
sometimes.
Not here on Concordia On-Air though. We
No.
have no technical difficulties
Never.
ever. We have
Never,
a 100%
ever.
clean track record.
Oh, absolutely.
And shout out to our technical crew.
In the back, Emma.
We keep it
Yeah, we keep it real.
keep it clean over here. Anyway,
New albums are coming out. More
that's
about
what
Taylor
happens.
Swift.
Music, people make it.
Taylor Swift has Tortured Poets Department coming out on Friday.
Is that so?
Too bad we couldn't have her here for Cornstalk, you know? Like, I'm
yeah?
sure Concordia can afford her. Like, definitely. Imagine, like, just chilling at Cornstalk, and then out walks Taylor Swift performing her brand new album. Can somebody, like, can we do that? Like, do you think Concordia On-Air has the budget for Taylor Swift?
Us personally, yeah, I think we
I'm
could get a
sure we
segment,
do.
but I don't know if she'd want to stick around for Cornstalk. That's a little beneath her. Concordia On-Air,
We're so cool. She would definitely want to hang out with us.
she'd come up here with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
What? There's new albums. Billie Eilish just announced that there's a new album coming out. May 17th.
I'm
Thank
hearing
you.
it's May 17th.
Thank you to our people in the back. Killing it. Dua Lipa? May 3rd.
May 3rd.
Thank
Dua
you
Lipa.
again. Thank you again. What else is happening?
There's movies, new movies
New movies?
coming out.
Yeah.
Civil War, that just came out.
Oh, that one looks so good. It's about journalism.
It is about journalism.
Cool things. Cool
And
things.
Civil War. That one was in the tennis movie, Challengers, with Zendaya. That's coming out next weekend, I think. That
Cool.
one.
Cool.
That's coming out. New Planet of the Apes movie, that's coming out. I'm excited for that next month.
How many are there of those now?
Well,
Like
there's
10?
like the ones from the 60s, and then the modern remake with Mark
12?
Wahlberg, and then there's like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, War for the Planet of the Apes, the
15?
new one. There's a lot. I don't know exactly.
17.
But there's a lot. There's a new one coming out. What else
20.
today? Oh, Furiosa, that's coming out next month. Mad Max, prequel.
Oh, how many of those are there? 8?
No. There's Fury Road, and this is a prequel to Fury Road. And then there's the old ones. Anywho.
10. Got it. I got it.
no.
10 of them.
Anyway, what else is happening in arts and entertainment? Timberwolves are in the playoffs. Sorry, I made it about sports. That's
okay,
entertainment.
we're not doing
That's
sports.
entertainment, is it
no,
not?
This is not a sports segment right
It's
now.
I'm entertained watching the Minnesota Timberwolves. That counts.
That's sports. Sports.
Yeah.
Sports.
Their first playoff game matchup against the Phoenix Suns this Saturday at 2:30 p.m. Tune in. Wolves back, 3 seed, facing the 6 seed Phoenix Suns. Big playoff series. Best season, second most winning season in the history of the franchise. And I would like to make it out of the first round. That's all I have to say about that. We can go back to whatever you want to talk about.
How many games did they win? Like 40? 50?
40. They won like 56
60?
games.
70.
Thank you very much.
70
56.
games.
56.
They won 70 games. That's
56.
crazy. That's so crazy. What else is happening? Logan Paul got, he's having a baby. He got a baby. Yeah, and then Jake Paul is, I think, still fighting Mike Tyson. I don't know.
Are you just coming up with news stories now?
Yeah.
Just trying to recall what's happening?
No, never. Why would I do that?
Well,
Crazy.
we do, however, have a big announcement
Oh, yes, we do.
that next week,
Next week.
everyone will be tuned in, as per usual. Audience ratings are still going up, so we expect an even bigger audience. And we do have a special night next week. Cobber Night Live.
Absolutely.
That's
got
us
Some excitement
doing
for
our
that.
typical funny, awesome, amazing things. Mm-hmm. But SNL style in the form of skits and news and monologues
Improv.
and funny. The main thing is we're funny. That's
We're
your main
so
takeaway.
funny.
And it's next week, so everyone be there or be square. And you don't want to be square in today's society. So
Like SpongeBob.
well,
Square
that's
pants.
okay, that's pretty cool actually. So maybe I should change my metaphor. But anywho,
We got some
that's what we have
people-
next week. And now
People joining.
these are all of our wonderful people
Yes.
from
Oh.
Squeeze in here. We got room.
Come on
We got
in,
room.
Come on in.
So
We're
this
friendly.
is all the wonderful people here. Not all of them, but
We have some people
a
missing.
lot of them.
But
This is our Concordia On-Air cast. And this is our last, since we just announced Cobber Night Live next week, this is our last regular scheduled show of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So that means our seniors that we have been highlighting the past couple of weeks, this is our last regular show and our last regular show of the year. So we're just
seniors.
having an awesome send-off thing, and this was awesome, I think. I hope.
Yeah.
The audience, the ratings, they tell us we're awesome, and that's
Oh,
what matters.
absolutely.
The TV execs, they think we're awesome, and that's
Yes.
what matters.
Prime time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Tune in next week and tune in next year.
Yes. Tune in all the time.
Tune in.
Even if you can just re-watch them.
Yeah.
We're everywhere. You can just re-watch these all summer. It's like we will never leave.
Never.
We'll never leave your brains. Anyway,
We'll be here forever.
we will. Yeah. Let's wave bye to our seniors. They're gone. Well, not yet. You get what I'm saying. It's been wonderful. It's been wonderful.
Feral rats are
The
finally
feral rats.
released from the scientists'
The feral rats.
They fulfilled their contract.
to New York, I think.
Oh,
Maybe a New York rat.
a New York
Or
rat.
Chicago rat. I haven't
Chicago
decided.
rat.
That's like prime. If you're a rat, that's the big time.
Yeah.
You've
You
made it.
gotta live in Chicago.
You've made it.
I'll be your salamander rat.
That's the goal.
Salamander rats.
Well,
So many
rats.
different kind of rats.
See you next week.
Thanks for tuning in.
That's been us. So, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye. See you next year.
next week. We're still back next week.
See you next week. Cover Night Live.
Exercise is medicine.
Wait.
Gorgeous.
Oh gosh.
All right.